Hey guys, and welcome. Welcome back to the Creative Girl of Color podcast. This is our first episode in a long time, you guys. Hello, everybody out there. Hello. I love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in. Just in case you guys are new around here, my name is Danielle. I'm the artist behind Creative Girl of Color, and I have a phenomenal artist I want to introduce you guys to today. We're going to do our special episode and she's coming all the way from Louisiana, so it's going to be wonderful. So let's get into it. Yay! And here we are, you guys. Hi! Hey! Here she is, you guys. Oh my God. If you guys are just watching, you just coming in, go ahead and share it, like it, love it. I want to give a quick shout out to my moderator, Vanessa. Love you, gal. Thank you so much. Go ahead and share it out in the group, honey, and let people know we're live. Yes, and yes. So, yes, phenomenal artist, Jonquel from Louisiana. She's going to be talking about her art, telling us about her journey. I absolutely love her art. We actually linked up on Clubhouse. I think it was Clubhouse. I don't know. You never know, right? But I was like super impressed, so I had to have her on the podcast. So I like stalked her Instagram, and here we are. Go ahead and introduce yourself,
I'm
honey.
happy to be here. Okay, hey, my name is Jonquel of Jonquel Art. I am a body positive fashion illustrator and textile designer. I've been working in fashion illustration for about, I'm gonna say almost 6 years now. And I was also, like I mentioned, a professional textile designer. I've created textiles that have even shown up in Ashley Stewart. But I have worked with several different companies as far as being an illustrator for them that are all body positive. I worked at one point, I collaborated with Tommy Hilfiger, Ashley Stewart, Lane Bryant. I've been featured in Huffington Post, Cosmopolitan Magazine, Glamour, Yahoo Style, just to name a few.
Come on.
And my textile designs have been everywhere from Burlington, Ashley Stewart, TJ Maxx, and several other stores. Even I'm surprised when I recently saw one of my outfits in rainbow the other day, and I was like, I know that pattern.
I need that outfit. What is it?
I'm constantly even surprising myself, but I'm like so happy to be here and getting a chance to share my story with everybody.
Yay! I'm so happy you're here too. I'm super excited about it. Yes, and yes, but you guys know what to do. Don't forget to share this and love it and like it. Tag all your creative friends because they need to hear the story that come up. Okay. So, first question, tell us how you got into art. Like, I need like the whole story, the tea.
Well, I've been doing art since I was a little girl, honestly. I won my very first contest in art when I was 5 years old for drawing fashion girls. Even when I was little in kindergarten, I knew that people weren't stick figures. So I knew that they needed flesh, they needed clothing, and my sister was a hairstylist at the time, so I knew to give them hairs. Them girls had barrel curls and deep waves and they had big door knocking earrings and shoulder pads. They had everything, and I won that
Not the
contest.
shoulder pads.
Girl, they had shoulder pads. They were shimmying, but yeah, I actually won a statewide competition when I was like 5 years old. So that's kind of what started me. Throughout the years, I kind of stopped drawing because, schools did this thing where they pulled art out and made it not important anymore for standardized testing.
God.
So I kind of stopped drawing, but I fell back in love with it again when I was in high school due to a love of anime, which you could probably look around my room and see those influences. But, and I would draw anime constantly in high school, my mom allowed me to paint the walls in her house as a mural. So you would come in our house and would just see Goku and Sailor Moon everywhere. She was very, very kind to let me do that. And I used to shock my friends, like, she let you paint the walls? Like, yeah, she let me have at her walls.
Yeah, especially for Black moms, that's big.
Yeah, she just let me go at it. So I'm very, very lucky that I was kind of nurtured at a young age for being an artist. Now, they didn't know that I was going to be like, I'm going to do this for a career. Because they thought I would eventually just become a nurse. And I was like, no, artist, straight up. That's all I want to be. So that freaked them out for a little while. But I was able to go to college for it. Went to Savannah College of Art and Design in Atlanta. And after I graduated SCAD, which is what we call it, Sleep Comes After Death is the other name we called it. I got the opportunity to move to New York, and that is where my fashion career started. Of course, it started in New York.
Right. Wow. You know, I think I've been like a lot of times I like to watch people's stories to get to know them and you know just get it because like sometimes you see like little snippets of what people put on their main timeline and that's kind of like I think the fluff, you know, but when you like really go into somebody's story, sometimes they share like parts of their personality, different drawings, and I know you do a lot of TikTok videos and I'm loving the illustrations that you're doing now because I recently got back into like doing a little bit of gaming. So I was like, okay, I'm feeling that. I feel like you was just like making them all for me, right? I'm like, all those outfits are for me. Okay. But not just that, is because like I really love The Sims, even though it's more like I know you're doing a lot of like Nintendo stuff or whatever. But so tell me like the story. What made you do that like particular line? I know because you like anime, but give us the story.
I always try to do different series based around things that I love. I always try to do like a series of things. I feel like there's not enough representation of curvy women, and then when you do have representation of us, there's not really representation of us in all the things that we do. It's kind of like we're very like a marginalized niche group. Like we everything that other people like, we like too. So like,
Exactly.
there's definitely not like enough. So I'm kind of known now for doing these series based on things that I love. Like I did the Disney series. I did a Wakanda inspired series. I do a lot of things that are inspired by pop culture. And I used to be a gamer when I was in high school, and I was heavy in the games, but my house got broken into and somebody stole every system I had. I had every system.
Oh
And that
God.
kind of crushed me for wanting to game. And also it was kind of hard being a girl gamer anyway, because a lot of the boys didn't want to play with me.
Right.
Because they either felt like they were either gatekeeping, or when they did allow me to play and I beat them, it was a problem. So it was a
Yikes.
weird world to be in. So I kind of got out of it. And when I got older, I was like, I didn't have as much time. But recently, I met somebody who forcibly brought me back into the world of gaming again. And then also being on TikTok, I was introduced to like this entire gaming movement. Like everybody's who's on Twitch and everything. There's a lot of women. And
Yeah.
there was a plus size woman. I can't remember her screen name off the top of my head, but she had recently started her own Discord group to talk to other Black women gamers, and people were coming at her. It's like, why do you have to specify Black women gamers? Because, we don't have a lot of spaces that are for us, that are safe for us.
Right.
So it was just got me thinking about representation in that area. So I just out of fun, it was kind of a fun challenge to take the consoles and see what I can do, what kind of fashion moment I could create out of them. The PlayStation was probably my favorite one so far because it's such a sleek and kind of alien looking machine. So it was interesting to take it and turn it into a dress. So it's one part, speaking on representation, another part, me just having fun and wanting to make a moment out of something.
So I'm just sharing the screen, you guys, because I want to show you kind of some of her work. Because I think it's dope. Can you see me kind of scrolling up and down? I want to make sure you can see me.
I can.
Okay, good. I mean, I don't want to, but I like to do deep dives, you guys. You guys know I like to talk. I like to get like into somebody's psyche and figure out what's going on. So what was kind of like your inspiration behind this piece?
Xbox.
Yeah.
Well, Xbox, so even though I wasn't gaming, I have a lot of friends who do game, and one of the interesting things I find that people who own Xbox and people who own PlayStations tend to have feuds. So PlayStation was the first one that I drew. I just happened to post Xbox first.
Right.
When I create my characters, my dolls, as I call them, they have personalities in my head. And this particular series, like I knew that my PlayStation girl and my Xbox girl were gonna be rivals. So I have a whole scenario in my head of how they don't get along with each other and how
Wow.
their outfits and everything have to be in direct, contrast to each other. So Xbox, I literally looked at the system, and it's Xbox is literally that it's a rectangle, it's a black rectangle. That's all it is. So it's like, how am I going to turn this into an outfit? So if you look at the video, there's a lot of her outfit is broken down into like a very, very angular shapes, very, very the box continues to show itself in her outfit in the symbol as well. And also I wanted her to have a certain attitude because Xbox people have an attitude about them. They're very
They
rebellious.
do. Like my baby
They
father, he loved Xbox. And I was like trying to tell him like I was like, yo, I was like, our son need, because he bought him a Switch or whatever. I don't know.
Mhm.
But like, he's like, oh, but I don't know anything about that. Like them stupid switches or whatever. I'm like, whatever, you bought it.
Right.
Like, what you got an attitude for?
They 100% have an attitude, and the system itself is kind of rebellious in the fact that in its design. So I wanted to like reflect that in everything from her pose to her outfit. So they all have very futuristic outfits. They all have these visors that light up and everything. So
Right.
everything has a meaning, like from her pose to the attitude is very much something that I get when I talk to Xbox user. And the PlayStation One, she's very elegant. She don't really have nothing to prove. So she has a very she's very bougie. If you
Yes.
know it, she has a very bougie attitude.
She has a very bougie attitude,
Mhm.
like
Yeah,
sis.
she's expensive and she know it. So I was like, they
Exactly.
all have attitudes.
So I love this piece too. See, that's what I really love about your work is that it's like shows, plus size fashion, plus size women as being powerful and beautiful and fierce and all of those things, and that, you know, our bodies isn't our identity, right? Like you can still be dope, even though you have a little bit of extra.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So talk to us about this kind of line of work.
So the quarantine.
I think we had some
Can you hear me?
audio cut out for
No,
a
I'm
minute.
sorry. My phone rang. I thought I put it on Do Not Disturb, but
Oh,
apparently they're still getting through.
that's
They're
okay.
still
Go
getting
ahead.
through. Um, so yes, it's the quarantine Bay collection. That collection started last year, right in the heart of COVID. I had gone through, I'm gonna say, all of a little bit of 2018 and all of 2019. I was in an extreme art block. I was going through a very, very heavy depression.
Right.
um, and I just couldn't shake myself of it. And usually, one of the first things to go when I go through a depressed state is my art.
This is so
It is
cute. Oh my
something,
god, I love that. That's so
yeah.
cute.
It's one of the, unfortunately, it's one of the first things to go. I actually have to keep a very, very positive state of mind in order to be able to create the way I do.
Right.
It's just like, it comes from a place of love. It doesn't come from a place of of drama or anything else. So I was going through a very tumultuous time period. And when I left New York and I moved to Louisiana, I when COVID hit, so the funny thing was I was literally praying that my life would slow down a little bit just so I can catch my breath and catch up because the anxiety was killing me. I didn't know the guy was going to stop the whole world. I'm sorry, y'all.
Right.
I did not know he was going to do that. But once the things did slow down and I literally had like nothing to do, um, I was kind of going crazy and I was like, well, how am I surviving this quarantine. So I decided to do a self portrait of myself.
I'm legit going through all your posts and liking it while we live.
A self portrait of myself and how I was surviving COVID. And it was just me laying out on in my floor with all the things that were helping me survive it.
Right.
And I posted that to Instagram. I hadn't done any posts for a while. And people were like, oh my God, this is me. This is how I'm surviving it. Please do a part 2. So I did another one. And the second one featured a brand new character. It was a girl who was laid out talking to her boo via FaceTime because that's the only way she could get to him.
Right.
And then the following one was a girl who was smoking and you know, just enjoying her vibe. And then it just grew. I had a couple, I had a nurse. And at some point, I had a friend that was like, okay, but I want you to start drawing people. I want you to draw me. And I was like, I'm not taking commissions right now. It's not something I want to do. Sucker cashed at me and said, well, you're doing it now. I was like,
You already got the cash now.
Yes. So I drew him and then I posted him and people are like, oh, you're doing commissions now. And I was like, no. Then,
no. So is this a commission here? Let me see. Let me read it.
No, that's not a commission. That's an original. Most of the quarantine Bay ones were commissions. The ones with the girls laying out, those are commissions.
Right.
Some of them were guys too. I haven't done a quarantine one in a while. I think I did one back in February was like the last time I did them. And then
this is really pretty. Like I like this because it I like pink, girl. I like pink. So if you do anything you do with pink, okay, I'm gonna be on it.
That's from the Valentine's series. So I did a lot of different art during Valentine's. So that one was one showing that couple. There was other couples as a Galentine's one. So yeah, I try to do different series every year, depending on anything. That was the Valentine's one. I think you showed a little while ago my Christmas one that I did.
I like Christmas too. I was on that too. But like I'll be having to remind myself, like, girl, it's not Christmas. Calm down.
Yeah. You know, and like I said, every Halloween I do one as well. I try to post as often as possible during the month of October, all these different like creepy, scary things.
Right. Well. Oh my God. In case you guys have any questions for Jonquel, you can wait till the middle or towards the end and we'll open up and answer questions. So go ahead and share, love, and like it, you guys. Because we're gonna be we're still kind of diving into this episode, okay? Mm-hmm. But yeah, definitely don't forget to share it, love it, like it, so that you know all your little creative friends can be loving this episode. Because I'm loving it. I'm really like all into your page. You can tell I like your art because you know what's funny? Because a lot of times, like I would actually have your art in my house and that says a lot because I don't be putting people's art in my house. I have my own art, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But yeah, but you know, there's always, even as artists, we have our favorite artists or our favorite people we still will want to collect or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm just waiting for you to do a Sims one. Oh my God, girl, and I'm on it. The Sims, and I'm on it. I cannot wait.
Well, I'm not doing a Sims one. I think the last girl to go up in that series is PC, because people use their computer to game, and that's why they play Sims. So that's the last one.
Wait, did you put that one out though yet?
She's not out yet. I just started her last night.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, she's not out yet.
I'm ready.
She's the last one to go up in that series.
Okay, she's ready. So ready. But yeah, so that was great. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. So my next question for you, like, who's inspiring you these days? That's a good segue. Who's inspiring? Like, who's your favorite artist? Like, who? Because like I said, we all got our favorite people that we stalk. You know, who are you looking at on Instagram, or who's like your favorite artist from like long ago that's not alive anymore?
I mean, well, I'm always going to stalk Disney. It's one of my
Yeah.
one of my biggest inspirations in a lot of things I do. I was lucky enough to like be able to do their college program and intern with them and everything when I was younger. And it's one of, like I said, it's, you can, if you look at my art, you can definitely see the Disney influence. You can, you 100% see the anime influence in my art as well. Some couple of artists that I look at Hayden Williams. I think he may be one of the most popular artists on IG. He has well over 1 million followers.
Hayden, you said Hayden who?
Hayden Williams.
Hayden
He
Williams.
is the artist. He does a lot of, Kim Kardashian is one of his clients. So he's a big deal.
I gotta look that
is
up, y'all.
a guy, I can't think of the name of his thing, but one of his IGs is Pigeon Doll. Is it Pigeon or Pigeon? Pidgin.
Is he Hayden?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hayden Williams. And then there's Pigeon Doll. I'm probably, forgive me if I'm saying the name of this company wrong, but he is a doll maker. I follow a lot of doll creators.
I see it. I see what you're talking about. Let me share it so they can see what you're talking about. I don't know if y'all care or not, but we care. We're gonna talk about it today. Oh man. So this is what we're talking about?
Yeah, that's Hayden.
Okay. Oh, so he does like a lot of, oh see, I like that. What's this? 38,000. He got some serious numbers here.
Yeah, he's been doing it for a while.
Halle Berry. Yep, I like it. I love it.
Clients.
So you say he does what? What is like? What do you say his style? He's more like illustrations. So he does like illustrator. Right. Okay. I'm really digging this one. This is cute. Selena. Why am I digging it? Because that's my girl. Like, stop playing. I love Selena. Like everything I could possibly think of as an artist. I love Selena a lot. So yeah, I mean, so he's one of the people that you really, really love. And who else?
I follow a lot. So I honestly don't follow a lot of other artists. I mean, I follow them on Instagram, but I don't really, even with him, I try not to look at their art too often. I don't want to really be too influenced by another artist.
Right.
So one of the things that I do is I look at dolls a lot. Like, I actually look at doll sculptors and things like that. Like people, I follow the illustrators who create Barbie. So I follow a lot of them. So I managed to like go through Twitter and everything and find out who are the people who are actually designing for Barbie, who's designing Monster High, who's designing Bratz. And I follow a lot of their artists when they post their concept art and things like that. And I look at the way that they, they basically structure things and how, because one of my ultimate goals is to be a doll artist one day. I would love to collaborate with Barbie on their curvy doll one day. So
come on. I need that PC doll. Okay.
I think that that is one of my biggest influences. Like I have an entire Pinterest board that's nothing but dolls. I've always been fascinated with them. So and there's an illustrator who was a fashion illustrator, and he transitioned to being creating his own doll collection line. And then Cardi B just recently came out with her own doll collection line. I was like, I feel like this is going to be something that happens to me in the future.
Did she? I don't even. You know what? I love Cardi, and I'll be following her, but I don't remember. Did she come out with one?
Yeah, it's you had to pre-order it when it comes out. It's supposed to release next month. But see, I'm so into the doll world. I knew. A lot of people don't know, but I follow so many doll artists that I knew the moment that she released it. Because that's just something that just gets me very, very excited. But other than and I follow a few other fashion illustrators, but I honestly don't know them from the top of my head. It's just that they're on my feed. I can't think of anybody else's but his, because he has such a huge following. I literally can't open my Instagram without him popping up.
Right.
But as I say, I try to make it a point to not look at, there's another one. Liani Joy. Don't ask me to spell her name, but she's here on YouTube. She's huge on YouTube. Liani Joy is another artist who's amazing. She's so good that Disney actually signed her to do her own versions of the Disney princesses. That's how good she is.
Wow. You know it's
Yeah,
serious when they get you to remix their own stuff.
yeah. So that's how good she is. But she's here on YouTube, mainly.
Oh, I think
So
somebody in the
and
comments said that's how you say it, Leilani Joy, or that's how you
yeah,
spell it, Leilani Joy.
yep, that's her.
Okay. See, you got other people in here that's loving it,
Yeah.
girl. I never heard of her, but you said she's more she's like a doll designer. Like
No,
does she actually
Leonie does a lot of Disney art. She does a lot of Disney art. She does a lot of Game of Thrones, though that type fantasy art. She does a lot in that genre. Which is a genre I really, really used to follow a lot.
Yeah.
And you see it in my art still. Like you see that I still follow that art style, but she does a lot of that. But she's so good that she's in Disney's gallery at Disney World right now.
Wow. Wow. That's insane. That's the dream though, right?
Mm-hmm.
To be in like they because I mean they're at the top. They're at the that's the pinnacle of like especially if you could still retain your copyright
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well,
and
she was you. If you're hired with them, of course, you sign like a contract to do stuff with them.
right.
Yeah, and I think they even to the point to where they'll send you the Pantone colors. So if they ask you to draw Jasmine, you have to draw Jasmine with the exact colors.
Wow.
So that's how strict they are.
Wow.
You can use your style, but you must follow their rules.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Wow. Well, you know, I think that's probably good because they have that formula down pat, honey. Okay,
Hmm.
they know the exact colors that's gonna hook you in, the exact colors that's gonna cause people to not only kind of go crazy, but just capture your soul to the point from when you grow up to when you're little till you grow up, and you're still kind of thinking about it. I used to be really obsessed with Barbies when I was little, and even as I got older, I did a little bit of Barbie collecting and like get like all the ones with the flowing dresses and the limited edition whatever.
Hmm.
I was that type of geek, okay? I had the limited edition Barbie or whatever with the like sequency dress. But even when I was little, like you said about representation, even when I was little, I mean, I'm telling my age at this point, but when I was little, okay, in the, late 80s, early 90s, they didn't have black Barbies like that. They
Hmm.
literally was just coming out with black Barbies,
Hmm.
but they didn't have it for real. They didn't even have like regular baby dolls that were black. And that's crazy. That's late 80s, early 90s, right? They didn't
Yeah.
have hardly any black Barbies, hardly any black like I had my mom, she had to actually order a limited edition Cabbage Patch doll that was black cuz they didn't have it. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? So the fact that so many people, like yourself are out there kind of representing for the world, pushing those boundaries and just showing little girls across the world that yeah, you can be successful, you can be beautiful too, you can have all those things too. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
That's super dope. I love that. So, next question, you guys. That was pretty good. We can sit here and chat all day, you guys. Okay, so tell us about your daily business routine. Usually I know a lot of people like to vlog, they like to whatever, and they vlog their whole routine. If you know the amount of work people have to put in just to get stuff done, you like it'd be insane. So take us through your day.
Well, here's the thing. I I I don't really work as much during the day. I'm gonna be taking you through my night. So,
Well, that's what I mean, like
I
a regular business day for you.
yeah. So my business day pretty much is at night. I tend to work. I'm a night owl, so I tend to work mainly at night. I just started vlogging. My YouTube channel will probably launch later this month. So I just literally started vlogging, but I literally will plan out what my next project is. I'll go through my email. I will answer email. I will go through my Google Forms to see if anybody signed up for any type of commissions. I've been spending a lot of time recently on Fiverr looking for people to like redo my website for me because my website needs to relaunch. And then when it comes down to like doing my actual artwork, I will do a dummy sketch in like my sketchbook first, or usually like a sketchbook dump where I just throw things that are interesting at me, to me in the sketchbook and see what sticks out. I do a dummy sketch, and then I decide, let's say Disney Villains series is coming out next because Corella's debuting this month. So I will spend like an hour or two on Pinterest shopping for outfit inspiration, outfit, hair, makeup, nails, handbags, shoes. I will spend at least 2 hours shopping for my characters because they're styled. And then I will also go through either my Instagram, my Facebook, or sometimes Pinterest and look for plus size body types for inspiration because I don't just draw from the top of my head. I actually have to have a physical girl to look at. I actually have to have a physical, and if I can't find a girl, then I have to get in the mirror to do it.
Right.
It's not like, unlike traditional fashion illustration where you can pretty much do it off the top of your head as long as you know the 9-head method. When you're
Right.
drawing a plus size woman, if I want to put her hand on her hip, I need to know, depending on how big I want to make her breast or her stomach, things are going to pinch in certain places. I need to have a reference to know this. If I see an outfit that I like that's on a straight size woman and I want to make it for plus size, I need to kind of imagine how that is going to pucker where her love handles are. I gotta imagine all of this.
Exactly.
I gotta imagine all this. Or I'll look at certain poses because unfortunately there's not that much as much reference as people think for plus size women. So a lot of my day is literally gathering reference for me to work from because there's not a lot. And once I have that, then I can get down and I can sketch and do everything. As far as my business goes, a lot of my stuff is automated. It runs itself. Like I'm licensed with iCanvas.com. So people can buy canvas art from me right from their website, or they may be able to find me on overstock.com. I think I was on Macy's at one point. So I've automated a lot of my actual business work at this moment. When my website opens, I'll be doing a lot of things by hand. But right now, Society 6, iCanvas, a lot of print on demand places. So I can literally go to sleep and people are ordering stuff from me. So
Right.
I do pretty good with that as far as running my business because I really don't want to be the person that is in here like I used to hand paint a lot of things, but now I'm like, the way for me to make money is just to bulk make a bunch of stuff and just let everything be automated after that. So I'm lucky that in my day to day I don't have to do a lot of stuff to get my business itself to run. It runs on its own without me even paying attention to it now. So a lot of times right now I'm down to just the planning phases, the planning of the artwork, the planning of how I'm going to utilize the artwork when it's done. Like what product is this going to go on? Is this going to be on keychains? Is this going to be printed on a shirt like this one? Is it going to be on a mug? So I'm in the places of, okay, now we got to go through, we got to make sure our colors are right. How is this going to print? How is it going to this? Chatting with a lot of people on Alibaba. And I do spend a lot of nights on Alibaba trying to
Jesus
break that
Christ.
freaking
I'm
language
afraid of that
barrier.
because you know what? Like this year I said I'm gonna step my game up and I'm gonna really start like manufacturing like some crazy ass products and I want it to
Mm-hmm.
look great. And I'm like, but unfortunately you're gonna have to outsource if you want to manufacture certain
Mm-hmm.
products
Yeah,
like
you got to
washi
outsource.
tapes and all that stuff like that. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm afraid of that.
I mean, it's scary. I'm not gonna say it's not, but it takes a lot of research. It takes a lot of research, and like most of my days, sometimes I'm not even drawing. Some days it's straight up and down research on manufacturing. It's research on business. It's research on, your website. And like a lot of, when you step into the business of art, you're spending a lot of time doing admin and research, not even drawing anymore.
Right.
A lot of time doing admin and research. So right now there's a lot of research on print on demand versus manufacturing yourself. If you want to do Alibaba, then you have to do research on what all the terms are. Like, what does a trade insurance mean? What does it mean when you see the little, how many years have they been in a thing? Do they have very good English speakers? Is there a contract you can use? What's their minimum order requirement? What's their damage rate? It's like so many things that you got to research so you know to ask. YouTube is a great resource because there are things that I thought that I had to go to Alibaba for, and then through research you find out you don't have to. You'll find somebody who did a review on a company that did it here, or an Alibaba company that actually has their own website, which is so much easier to go through than doing Alibaba itself. So there's just a lot of things that I do that are like research wise. But
There's a good group on Facebook. Are you part of any groups on Facebook?
not really. I mean, if I have a certain interest, I get on groups on Facebook. But here's what I find: every time I join a group on Facebook, like I had this thing where I was gonna do rolling trays. Like I really wanted to do, because I had this one image that went popular, went viral, was the girl, the quarantine babe who's laid out. She's smoking. So I want to do rolling trays with her. And for a while there, I was just gonna do them by hand, the resin and everything. Tried to join a few Facebook groups about that. Left the groups because drama gets started in not all groups, but sometimes drama gets started in these groups. There was another group when I was designing nail art. I was on a nail art group. Had to leave that group because people were just dragging each other's nails. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna leave Facebook groups alone. I'm tired of this. Every time I get in one of these groups, they're arguing and fighting the same thing.
Well, y'all better tell her, like, you better come over to our group, honey, because I mean, that's if you're interested in another art group in particular, just having, a network of people, because I don't play that. We don't play that in our group. Okay. I don't do the drama. Matter of fact, it's like unicorns and butterflies flying through the air in my group. I don't do that. We don't do that over there.
But that's
We
good.
we mod it up. Okay, I got the mod squad. I'm there all the time. I made it like that on purpose because I know a lot of groups are very toxic on Facebook, and it could be very discouraging to people that are there just to learn, or maybe they just want to network, or maybe it's a newbie, like somebody new to art, and they just looking for somebody to help them. You know what I mean? Like I seen a lot of groups like that was really toxic. So I was like, when I start my group, I want it to be something where it's like family. It's like nobody worrying about like who look like what. It's really no selling in my group, really. It's mostly about sharing resources and helping each other. And of course, that's not gonna be for everybody, because some people like the drama. They want to get involved in the like, I want to drag your nails. But no, this particular group that I'm talking about is, and I'll tell you about it and when we log off. It's this group is not about like drama or anything like that. They're heavily modded also. They're all about telling you about manufacturers and like setting things up for people that really like that used to go to like Comic-Con and shit like that. So that's what that group is about. And they tell you where all the dope manufacturers are without you having to go through like a bunch of research or whatever. But you can kind of take it with a grain of salt. But that's pretty much what that group is about. I don't really do too much groups with drama.
Right. And no, that's funny you mentioned that. I used to be a convention artist. I would do all the anime conventions and everything. That's where I got my first dose of manufacturing my own products. Whether I was hand making them or I was getting them made in other places. And it was other convention artists that were willing to share where they learned their techniques and how they learned how to do stuff. Is where I actually started with making my own products. To date, I've had my own makeup bag collection. I've done my own coloring books. I've done journals. I've done quite a few things I've done. And if people always DM me, you should do a coloring book. I was like, I've already done,
You already done it.
did the coloring book
But I mean,
and
how?
everything.
Okay, have you ever done like keychains? I seen somebody with like keychains, but not like the regular
Yeah,
keychains, but they like res. I don't even know how to. Not the. It's like acrylic
they're
resin
acrylic.
keychain. Yeah,
They're acrylic.
we need to talk after this because I got a lot of questions about that. Because I'm thinking like I need some acrylic. I wanted to do something like that, but anyway, whatever. We're gonna be talking about. We don't want to really get into the rabbit hole of manufacturers, you guys. Okay, but yeah. What was the original question? I don't even remember.
You asked me what my workflow was, and I was
Oh
like,
yeah,
it's
what
very
your
chaotic. It's a very hard question to answer. My workflow is extremely chaotic. I wouldn't recommend it to a lot of
the
people.
long and short of it, it's like bananas. Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it to a lot of people. I was like, y'all, it's a mess behind the scenes over here, but just no work gets done. Okay.
Okay, somebody in the comments was saying Chemical
Yeah,
Glow Angel saying I think Sticker Mule does acrylic keychains now. Do they?
I
Sticker
don't
Mule.
recommend them.
I didn't, you know what? Somebody was saying something to me about Sticker Mule, but I looked at their stuff and I was like, I don't really like how it looks. So I didn't really
Their stickers are great. Their
right.
stickers are great. Fantastic. Their stickers are some of the best in printing. Sticker app and Sticker Mule for stickers. But their acrylic keychains, I don't recommend.
Okay, okay. Well, we gonna get the tea. I'm gonna find out the tea, okay? And I'm glad I have her here, you guys, because she is a very busy lady, okay? And I'm so grateful that you're here and you gave us your time. So let's move on to our next question, you guys.
Mhm.
Um, okay, so do you have to deal with like racial bias in your with everything that's going on between the biggest civil rights movement that we've ever dealt with in our life, and everything with George Floyd and everything like that. What has been your experience between manufacturers? Have you dealt with people being discriminatory about like between your art or just you being black, period? How do you deal with that? Because that's like
Not,
it's a bad underbelly of the business.
not in my personal art, like in my, because I'm the boss of my own business, so you ain't gonna talk to me any kind of way. Um, but maybe when I was working in corporate jobs, yes, there were a lot of things that would I dealt with a lot of things with racial bias, but that was sometimes I'd be the only black person in the office at times. So um, sometimes your coworkers would be too comfortable with you, and jokes they normally wouldn't say, they would say, and I would have to constantly remind coworkers, y'all know I'm black, right? Y'all do like I'm black. I'm fully black over here. I would just have to remind, and I would openly say that. I was like, y'all do know I'm black, right? And like, oh, I'm sorry. But as far as my personal work, if you look at my artwork right away, you can see that it's mainly women of color that I draw, and I
Right.
draw all skin tones, all skin shades in my work. It's just very important for me to do that. One, because I'm black, I'm always going to draw what I grew up seeing. That's just what it was. I'm going to draw what I grew up seeing. And a lot of my dolls, they usually are based on things that I grew up with. Like I grew up with my sister's like my sister and I, she might be early 80s. I'm an 80s baby. I grew up with the girls back in the day when they used to do the baby hair with the toothbrush. Not when they used to use the real baby hair and lay it down, and the
Like
deep
when they had
waves with the black
what's a thing
gel.
called finger waves?
Yeah, the finger waves with the thick black gel they used to slap on your side of your
I'm
head, and
telling
the
you that
gold
brown gel.
knocker earrings. And back in the day when they used to call those the long nails that curled over with all the stones and the marble lines, back when they used to
Oh
call
my
those things ghetto.
god. Let me tell you a
Back
funny
when they were
story.
ghetto, you
Okay, let me
know.
tell you a funny story. There was a lady in my building when I was little. I was 7 years old. I remember like it was
Mm-hmm.
yesterday. and we lived in Coney Island. That's where I was born at, in Coney Island. And well, in case you guys don't know what I'm talking about, it's in Brooklyn, in New York. So anyway, I was born over there, and I was in the elevator, and there was this lady. She had this is the '80s. She had the little curl around
Mm-hmm.
nail thing, like curly cues, and they would go long, long, long like that. And every time she would come in the elevator, I'm like, ah! I'd be screaming. I'm like, Mom, oh my God, help me! I'm like, she's gonna kill me with them nails. But yeah, I mean, that was the day. Sorry, I had to tell
It's
that
okay.
story.
It's okay. So a lot of those things show up in my art, or like all of my siblings had gold teeth. They got them way back in the early '90s, you know. So I grew up with those things. So sometimes people think that I draw those things in my art because that's what's popular now. I was like, no, it was like something that originated. Um, so that's one of the reasons why you mainly see me draw women of color, because these are things that inspire me, because they're popular now because other people are trying to, like Vogue magazine and all of them are trying to rename them and rebrand them. And I was like, no, we always looked at those items as royalty. Those were always things that we love. Now y'all trying to rebrand them and charge us like an arm and a leg for something that we used to be to get all down at the corner store. So when I draw these
Exactly.
girls, they with their bamboo earrings and everything in their ears, like this is part of my childhood and my heritage and what I grew up knowing. So, and because I'm drawing these things that come from Black culture, I lead with Black people. That's
Right.
one thing. Number thing is that the I am a body positive illustrator. The body positive movement was built on the backs of Black women, period. Like
Period.
built on our backs. The only reason why
Period.
that you are seeing strides in plus size fashion is because a lot of plus size Black women went to bat with executives in their, in their offices to make sure that we actually have these things. So I feel like it is our story, and I'm like, we in the media will always paint us as the same thing. We will be a maid, a mammy, a bus driver, the strong friend, the insecure friend, the comedy relief, and I'm like, no, we are I am the main character of my own damn story. I'm the main
Exactly.
character. I'm the main
Exactly.
character, and like I was saying, I'm not your BBW. I am so much more than that. I am the main
Exactly.
character. I am the one that can't get it together, can't choose between the two men because they just all over me and I can't choose. So
Like, whoa.
I'm the one that's making the mad dash to catch the man before he gets on the plane at the end of the movie. Like that's what we
Exactly. I'm the
doing.
hero of my own story. Okay.
I am the leader of my own story. And like I said, I am a Black woman, so this is a Black story. So I lead with that. Now I always get told constantly. People kind of leave me alone now because they know I may cuss them out. But in the beginning, I used to always get told, why don't you draw, why do you, people ask me the question, like, can you draw normal people? It's like, define normal, first of all.
What does that
Um,
mean?
that means draw skinny people. And
Oh
I'm like,
God.
obviously, if I can draw this, I can draw that. That makes no sense. Also, I was told, and I get told this by Black people a lot. Why don't you draw more white people? White people are the ones with the money, which is 100% a lie. Well,
Lord
whoever
have
has money,
mercy.
everybody has money. But my thing is that most of my most of my support comes from Black women.
Right.
Period. Like the majority of women that commission me, buy my art, my most expensive pieces were all bought by Black women or women of
Right.
color. So I always argue people down when they tell me, make that comment. I'm like, that is not true. That is not true. Black people do collect art. We do buy art. We create art. And it's okay for us to make art for ourselves.
Right. Somebody
Because
was like, I hate that question. Ugh.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
it's okay for us
disgusting.
to make art for ourselves. It's fine. And like I said, I do every skin tone, I do every body, but I do lead with Black women first because that's what I am. That's what I look at when I look in the mirror. When I walk out my door, I'm in Black, I'm around Black people. And I'm not, I can't pretend to be anything other than me. So, and
Amen.
I love my people, so that's why I draw us all the time. So that is
Can I
my
get a
main
hashtag
visual
amen in the
bias.
comments?
That is my only bias that I face, is that people feel like if I drew more white people that I might get recognized easier. And I understand, that that's the case for a lot of black people, that maybe someone may feel that. I've never felt that. I've always had the support of my people. And then also, even though I do predominantly black people, I get a lot of white women who love my work. They do.
Funny
Young
enough, I
white
get a
women, young
lot of
white girls.
support. I get a lot of support from white women too.
Yeah, just women in general, because they can look at it.
Right.
People can look at an image or something that doesn't look like them and see them. It is possible.
Right. People like hashtag AM, amen.
You can look at a piece of art and it doesn't have to look like you for you to understand what the meaning behind it is.
Exactly. Hashtag amen. Cause like I said, but again, I've seen a lot of art. I follow quite a few artists, because I have a lot of artists that I know or whatever, but it's like, I haven't found anybody that makes art that represents us. And when I say us, I mean, the plus size, the big women, the big girls
Mm-hmm.
like us, like me. That I see myself in that art, you know what I mean, in your art. And I don't see a lot of people that represent us that do it well. And I think I told you that before. I don't see a lot of people that do it well. Like they be doing it, but then a lot of times either we be naked or I don't know, like they just be
Fetishize.
having, yeah,
Fetishize. Mm-hmm.
it fetishized, like you know what I'm saying, like it just don't be right. And I be like, why do I have to be all that? You know what I'm saying? I could be fierce and still have a muffin top. Like what's good? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, a lot of art. There is a lot of art that is drawn through the male gaze. In a lot of ways, a lot of is a lot of it that I've seen was drawn through the male gaze, and the male gaze of fetishizing us and reducing us to only being a big butt and everything. And especially when it comes to plus size, because I always say I'm a big girl, but I didn't get the premium package. I didn't get the boobs. You know, I didn't get the premium package because we're not all built the same. And
Exactly.
when they show them, if you only show the girl with the big breasts and the hips that go here and they come out, I'm like, you're not representing everybody. And also, it's a sensitive subject matter, because there's so many plus size women who I've drawn who said that they were afraid to get artwork done of themselves because they didn't know if the artist would like insult them or not. They thought they would get like a caricature back of themselves. So
Exactly.
I try
Somebody
to, because I
rip
am a
her.
big girl and I am sensitive to it, I try to handle it with respect. Also, because this is my body, I can always look in the mirror and I can be like, nope, the arm needs to be bigger. This arm hangs. It needs to be
Exactly.
bigger.
Exactly. You gotta get that
I know to do
wingspan. You know what I'm
things.
saying? Like,
Yeah, I know to do things. Like somebody commented recently on my Xbox girl because they could see her stretch marks in the drawing. I said,
yeah.
yeah, I usually do cellulite and stretch marks on all of my girls, wearing in places that it would be
Somebody was
visible.
looking that deep. People will kill me. People kill
Yeah,
me.
they noticed. Well, she was happy because she had them, and she said she's never seen artwork with it before.
Oh, she said she was happy because she noticed it. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people
Yes.
notice their stretch marks because when I can't get away from them. I look in the mirror and they're there. Hello.
Yes.
So I'm like, if I'm drawing a big girl, I know that she's gonna have stretch marks in certain places. I don't care how in shape she is. She was small and got big, or big or got small, but the stretch marks are gonna show up. And usually they're
Stretch
gonna have
marks,
cellulite too.
cellulite.
Yeah.
You're gonna
So
have
I
the muffin
illustrate
top.
all of that.
Let me tell you, I've been big ever since I could remember. Since I was 11, 10. I've
Mm-hmm.
never been small. I think the smallest I've ever been was like 150 pounds. And that's
Mm-hmm.
like right after I had my daughter and I wasn't eating. I was like starving myself. I was in my early 20s. I was like, I need to be so small. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then I was like small, but then it didn't fit, because my face was like sunken in like a crackhead. But then the
Mm-hmm.
rest of the body, but then you had like all that extra skin and all the like flaps hanging in the wind. So it just wasn't looking properly. You know what I'm saying? So um the fact that you represent that, and that's what I'm trying to tell you, like, you don't know how deep your art hits for a lot of people, especially people that are, our plump ladies, because it's like we don't see that, and just like I said, like, when, and not only do you make the art well, but then you represent different aspects of our life, showing us living everyday stuff, like doing art, and or doing, playing video games, or whatever it is. Like, it was deep for me because I recently got into Twitch. I literally just started my Twitch, like, I don't even know, like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Hint, hint, make sure y'all follow me on Twitch. I don't have anybody watching me, okay? I'm like desperate for followers now. But anyway, yeah, like I literally just started my Twitch like a couple of weeks ago, and like I'm really just getting into it, and then of course you don't see a lot of people like us, and especially you don't see a lot of plus size people like us. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I need the woman. You said there was a lady that has a Discord or a group for Twitch
Yeah,
people.
I have to find her on TikTok. Also, if you're trying to like gain followers for your Twitch, I would definitely suggest getting on TikTok. And just marketing yourself there to find them, and using the hashtag like Black Gamer or something, like Black Girl Gamer. Some
Right.
there's different hashtags you can use to attract other people, but TikTok is like going to be a great way for you to advertise your Twitch and
Yeah.
find people quickly, because that's where a lot of them are. They're on TikTok as well.
Oh, that's
I
why
don't
I
even
need to
know
get.
I just learned what Discord is, so I'm so
I
behind.
listen. I just listen, Linda. I love saying that. Listen, Linda. I just learned how Discord even works. Like, I literally just learned it. Like, I don't even know what's going on Discord. I always feel like it's like a weird back alley. Like, you
Yeah.
go in the back alley. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the wild wild west to me. I'm currently learning how to do YouTube. Okay, I'm currently learning how to edit my own videos and everything. I was like, one thing at a time, one thing at a time. When we get YouTube underway, then we can try Patreon, and then when we we get that
Exactly.
underway, then we can maybe try Twitch to live stream drawing on our
Oh my
pieces.
God, girl, you don't know. Like,
One thing at a time.
YouTube, Jesus Christ, is a full-time job. You hear me?
Yeah, I'm
Like,
seeing that. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it
it's a
already. I was like,
full-time job.
I'm
Okay.
seeing it.
It took me
But
all
it's
day just to make that thumbnail. Okay.
well, Canva is gonna be my best friend. So
Listen. Even with Canva, it's like, sis. But yeah, I mean, if you need help, just hit me up, because I'm good with the live streaming and all. Not live streaming, but you know what I mean. YouTube stuff and all that stuff. Nobody else hit me up though, but you know what I'm saying.
you're gonna get an influx of people.
Right,
Somebody
like,
just giving
that's why I had to put that
advice.
caveat in there. Like, don't know, no, sis. Anyway, so we had a question from somebody. I think you may know her. Shout out to Jonquel. She's inspiring and talented. I think they may know you. And they had a question. What would be the next dream project for you?
Oh God, my next dream project. I know I mentioned one earlier. Oh, I know what my next dream project is. I want to put out a journal.
Yes.
I want to do not a journal, a planner. I want to
And
do a planner.
I'm gonna get that planner. Okay.
Yeah, I want
Do
to
that
do a
right now.
planner that is about manifesting your dreams. And I want to fill it with inspirational quotes, and maybe even little prayer verses, things like that, to keep you on track. And just, you could jot things down. And I don't want it to just be a yearly planner. I would hope to do, I just discovered that there are planners that are 5-year planners. I just discovered that.
Wow.
And I was like,
I didn't
so
know
you
that.
can
But you know what?
literally,
Nowadays they're doing planners where there's no date on it. So you
Yeah,
can
there's
like,
undated planners.
right.
That aggravates my type A. So I don't know if I can do it. I bought one. And I was so confused the whole time I was flipping through it. No, there's undated planners, there's 5-year planners, there's digital planners, and you can just one off. There's even weekly planners. I think that undated ones just made my nerves go crazy. But that is my goal. My next goal is to release a planner.
I'm with it, girl. Let me know because I'm about to pre-plan it, whatever, pre whatever it.
Yes.
Because I need one with all the women in there or whatever, all the gamer women. You know what? Because I've been thinking about that too. I was like, do I want to put out a planner? But I was like, you know what? Sit down, Danielle. Sit down. Because you're doing too much.
Yes,
I'm
I
already
mean,
doing,
there's a lot of projects that I have on my list. I have a full list of things that I want
yeah.
to do. I have a number in mind that I want to hit, and I don't know how I'm going to hit it, but I just trust that God is going to show me the way and put the thing in front of me to help me get there. And I just have to remind myself just one brick at a time. Lay one brick down, Jonquel, and get that sucker perfect. you
I'm
know,
telling you.
um,
Lay one down at a time because it's too much. It's too much going on. That's why I'm like, I don't think I would do it, but I do like to support other Black creators because I have quite a few people that I've supported. I did buy something like it wasn't a journal per se, but it was like a book, but it had blank pages in it from another Black creator because I
mhm.
like supporting other Black creators or whatever. But if you put something out like that, I'm serious. Like that's dope as hell. I'm with it. And so let me know, put me on the list because
Yeah,
I need
I'm
that
still
ASAP.
figuring things
Because
out, but it's I'm
ask
determined.
Vanessa. Vanessa's my moderator. She's in the chat. I'm mad anal. I like to plan every aspect of my life out. If I could plan out when I'm gonna go to the potty, I would. I
Mhm.
swear. And like I actually do like a literal planner. I actually hand write it out in my sketchbook. And so if I find somebody that makes the ultimate and not just a regular planner, but if you make it for artists, I would love you
Mhm.
a long time. Where like I have a place where I could do a brain dump in my art and all the things. I'm giving you all the ideas. I'm giving you the blueprint, guys. I want you put it down because I need it. Okay. And I don't care if it's $35, $45, whatever. Let me know what's going on. See, they was like, yes, it's all true. I will plan it down to the last bit. Oh my God.
yeah.
I be getting on their nerves. They were like, oh God, are we having another meeting? Yes. So anyway, that was so good. We're gonna move on. If you guys have any questions, continue to put it down. So our next question is,
Mhm.
okay, what about your family? How supportive is your family during your process? Have you had any like naysayers, negative feedback? I want all the tea. You see, I want some gossip. I ain't got no life.
Um. Well, like I said, my mom was pretty much have at the house in the beginning, so I can never. And then when my mom and my dad realized that I was serious about this art thing, they immediately like whipped out the credit cards and bought me like the Prismacolor markers and the easel and everything. So I never went through that phase where I had Crayola, nothing like that. They just here, take it, buy whatever, just get what you want. So they were very, very supportive of my art career when I was a teenager. There was a rocky phase when I was in college because they were like, "Are you sure that you? Why don't you just go take a six? Why don't you just go take an 18-month CPA course? Just go have that as a Plan B backup." And I don't do Plan Bs. I do not. I do Plan
Right.
A. I was like, no, my gift will make a way. That's what you told me. You made me go to church. You forced me to go. And when I actually read the book and picked up on something, now you want to challenge it. They used to hate, my mom used to hate that. She was like, don't challenge me with God, But I was like, that's what you
Exactly.
said. You said that was going to be what was going to work me out. So I was like, no, this is what I want to do. It wasn't, so my family's always been supportive. Now I was in a former relationship with the person I was with wasn't always supportive
Oh
of what
God.
I was doing. Um, they were in the beginning, but as time went on and times got hard, because it is hard to make the decision to be a creative is not for the weak of heart. If you're going to do this as your job, it's not for the weak of heart at all. You're going to have to have a strong support system, and you're going to have to invest in therapy. There's no way around it. You are going to have to invest in therapy.
Get that therapy up, sis.
And you're going to have to understand that it's going to take a lot of sacrifices. You're not going to have money to put where you want to put it, because you're going to need it for something else. Especially if you go to college, you're going to need, money for your student loans, and then your school books and everything. And then your bougie teacher's going to want you to have the best of the best art supplies. It takes a lot, and it takes a lot of sacrifice of your time, because you're going to have to be putting in the effort. You're going to have to be sketching, drawing, researching, and you're going to have to be as good as you are in art. You're going to have to be in business. So you're going to have to be doing all that, and you constantly have to learn. You can't let the world pass you up. You have to constantly be in there. You have to constantly be learning. You have to constantly stay ahead of stay with the curve. And it also takes a deep investment in knowing yourself. You cannot produce your best work until you know who you are. You can't do it. So it takes a lot, and you have to have a good support system, because sometimes if you don't, that negativity will kill you. And it's not just for artists, this is with anybody who has a dream, period. Especially when you're Black, because people love to tell Black people what they can't do. They love to tell us what we can't do, because they've never seen it. And growing up, I had never seen another Black artist before. The first artist I ever met was my high school art teacher, and that was a white man.
Right.
And even with him, I think there was a little bit of it that I had to almost show him that I could really do this. And it wasn't because I was Black. I don't know what it was. I just had to show him that I was serious. But I think that having a good support system is so, so, so important. The person I was with literally told me that I was a broke artist who could never pay for anything.
Jesus
literally told me
Christ.
Would constantly ask me, what can you pay for? What do you bring to the table? And all that used to defeat my spirit. So since you
like, how you feeling now, bruh? How you feeling now?
Yeah. So it wasn't the best situation, but I was lucky enough that I did have friends who would constantly come in and like combat that. One of my really good friends, her name is Lizbeth. She's been I met her in college. She would constantly combat those negative things that I would constantly hear and deal with. And she was one of the first people who ever told me, when I said I want to be a famous artist, she's like, okay, do it. Like it was nothing. I was like, who told you I was allowed to do this? She was like, do it if you want to do it. So it's definitely important to have people like that in your life. I had a very good friend I met in SCAD. His name was Wally. He was the one who forced me on social media, because I didn't even want to show my art on social media. He forced me, literally would harass me all the time about getting on there. And I have other friends that I met. I think one of my friends is actually in here watching. Janique, she is also a friend I met in SCAD. She knows exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to having a good support system when it comes to family.
Yeah, shout out to Janique. We all need supportive friends around here.
They, because you really, really need those people. And I'm lucky enough that I have somebody in my life now that is very, very supportive. But yeah, as far as my family, I will tell you this funny story though. When I first started taking classes in high school, I wasn't that good, because it was years. I went years without drawing. My first few drawings I did were horrible. Matter of fact, my sister said that they looked like roadkill, and she said, "Let me go lay the drawings out on the ground so I can roll over them." That's what they look like.
What?
Yeah. And she was.
See, there you go. Some love, sending some love.
Yes. And she was literally like, "I am going to," telling my mom, "Pull me out of pull me out of the dang school. But eventually she did come around because my art got better. And actually her
Listen,
doing
I be
it,
like, I wish
her
somebody would tell that about child something like that.
but no, her making those jokes, and then also I was kind of bullied by some of the students in my school, but her making those jokes is kind of what made me more determined to do it, because I literally took one summer, instead of hanging out with my friends, I drew the whole summer. All I did was draw. And I made friends with other kids in school who were better artists than me, and asked them to teach me, and they were all friendly enough to do so. And that's actually how I built up, my ability to draw so well. Now she's one of my biggest supporters. Every now and then, I like to remind her that she was not at the beginning, but now my sister's one of my biggest supporters. Like, it was
Wow,
rough in the
wow.
opening, but that's what siblings do. They give you a rough time,
But it's very hard. The reason why I asked that too is because it's really hard, especially when when you come from our community, and you
yeah,
know what I mean by our
yeah,
community. A lot of our family is not very supportive of that. You know what I mean? They don't understand it. They don't understand the creative spirit. And as you flow through your career, like the first couple of years could be really tough. You could be really plugging away for 10 years without really making
exactly.
a lot of money. You know what I mean? You know the guy, what's his name? God Lord. He just sold the painting in Christie's, I think it is, for like $2 million, like 2
Hmm.
years ago. Older black guy, Marshall Mitchell something. I don't know. His name is Marshall something.
Hmm.
And when you look at his career, like if you actually just looked at that and say, "Oh, damn, he's so lucky. He sold that painting for $2 million. I can't believe it." He was like one of the first black people to ever sell anything like that. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
For that amount of money. And when you look at his career and you look at the lifetime that he spent in the hood, banging it out for 20 years, teaching people, not making no money, being broke in the hood for 20 years, is not
Hmm.
till he got older, and that one collection banged so hard it banged. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So it's like you really got to be, if you want to be an artist, this is not something, that's for play or like fun because you can put it on Instagram. You
I
know what I
mean, if that's what you want it to be for, it can 100% be something
mean?
that you wanted
Right,
for therapy, something you want for fun. But if you're looking at it as something that you want to be like your actual job, even anything in the creative field that doesn't have, that you can't, you're not going to do a 9 to 5 at. Because you can be an artist and get a 9 to 5. You can work corporate. I realize that I'm not corporate. I just can't do it. I don't like to clock in and be creative.
right.
Um,
But
I worked at
you're
companies
right though. There
where,
is if you want to be a concept artist, somebody like that, like you work for Disney itself, like you in the studio kind of rendering whatever the cartoons and the concepts for the movies and da 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 da. You can
mhm,
really make some good money with that, but
you
I guess it
can.
depends on like your personality.
Hmm.
Because I know for me, it wouldn't be like I couldn't do it.
Right.
You
I like
know,
creating my own characters so much, and also I've had jobs where I have made the company millions, and nobody would know that it was me because my name can't be on it. And I'm a true Leo. I want you to know it's me.
right?
I'm a true Leo.
Wait. When is your birthday? Is it in August
I'm an
itself?
August Leo.
Yes, indeed.
I want you
Oh
to
my
know it's me.
god.
It used to irk my nerves when people be like, "Oh, look at this outfit." I'm like, "I designed it," and they didn't believe me. you know, that's a
Oh
little bit
my
of my work.
god.
you
Yeah,
know.
but you know what? Let me tell you something. There is an artist. Again, I'm telling it's story time. There's an artist that I was looking at their podcast, and they were saying that even though they work with big brands like Disney and Pixar and all those different places, or whatever. He actually did like the characters for Jurassic Park or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, no, I don't play that. He was like, I keep all my copyright. They don't tell me. He was like, they don't tell me, I tell them. He was like, a lot of artists don't realize that we are the ones that make the world go round. We create the fashion and the art and anything that's popular in popular culture. So we should be setting the tone for how, you know what I mean? So he was like, far too often, a lot of these companies like Disney and whoever, they'll come to an artist, especially if you're not really familiar with like the process of getting a contract, or you're so like Star Trek, like, oh my God, Disney contacted me, whatever, whatever. A lot of people will give up their copyright, or they'll give up the right to like resell the piece, or to say that they made it and stuff like that. And he was like, that's not right. So he said when he does anything, including the Jurassic Park and Star Wars and stuff like that, he said he retains all of his copyright, and he has the right to like resell it. He keeps the original painting, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I
Well,
think, yeah,
what he's talking about is completely different. If you are artist that already has a name and a following, and you've
right,
already worked with big companies, you can negotiate that. But what I'm talking about is people who put in a resume, fill out an application to get a
yeah.
job to work at one of these companies. They're looking for an actual day-to-day job,
Oh
not
yeah, yeah,
collaboration.
yeah.
This is like
Hmm.
instead of working at like Dell, or working, at like McDonald's or a corporation, you're going to a job to get a job, and your job, you're a designer in that company. You work for that company. So everything you do is for that company. A lot of artists do that because it's not easy to work freelance. And you
Right,
get a steady paycheck, you know, and you have a 9 to 5, and you get more respect amongst your peers because you have a job. And then some jobs do pay a lot of money. Like Nickelodeon pays their toy designers a lot of money. They do.
mm,
They get paid well. Mattel probably pays the Barbie designers a good amount of money. They probably do. Um, but
but you
and
got to
if
give them they get all the
Well,
clout.
it's their stuff. It's
Right,
their stuff. It's their stuff. Like if you go and work for Disney, you're working for Disney. It's Disney's stuff. It's not your stuff. It's Disney's stuff. You're creating characters for Disney. It's nothing that belongs to you. They give
right.
you a brief, and you design according to that brief. I like to design for me. I like to create my own storyline, my own characters, my own everything. That's why I work better not working for a company. But when I work for a company, your buyer. Well, I was a textile designer. Your buyer comes in, they have an idea, they seen something on the fashion during New York Fashion Week. These are the Pantone colors that are popular right now. They may give you a brief. Well, I want a Poochie print, and I want it in Pantone, Sunstone, and gray. That's your brief, and you create for them. Now it comes from your head, but that may be your brief. So you're working for that company, and everything you create does work for them, even though you're the one who had to come up with the design and design it. It's completely different than if I'm already a big time designer and they
That's
come
right,
to me and be like for instance, when Tommy Hilfiger did the collaboration with Zendaya, you're gonna have to put Zendaya's name on it because people know Zendaya.
right.
You have to put her name on it. But if they work with just a designer coming fresh out of school,
They're
you
not gonna
work for
want your
me.
name on
Yeah, they
it.
work for me. You work for me. You're not adding anything to the company as far as everybody knows who you are. See, when you're big, you can make those negotiations. If you have a design firm or an agent, they usually make those negotiations for you. You're not even talking to them. The agent's doing it. So I think when
That's
people
right.
do
That's
these
true.
podcasts and they talk, they need to tell the full story, because you'll be thinking that, oh, that's the way it should be. It's like they have the platform and the privilege to be able to do that. That's not for
Well,
everybody.
he had the privilege anyway. You know what I'm saying? So he was gonna have the privilege to do that sort of stuff anyway. But
Hmm.
yeah, that's true. It is way different if you like actually say, okay, I'm gonna do a W-9 and I'm an employee type of thing.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's different.
Mm-hmm.
It's totally different. Even the most famous one that I could think of as an example, Tim Burton. Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas, he created those characters when he was a Disney animator. And because he created them, they're his characters, but because he created them while he was a Disney animator, when he came back years later with his own company wanting to do the movie, Disney says, well, it's going to have to be underneath our name too, because you created those while you worked for us.
Oh, Jesus. I didn't know that story.
Yeah. So when you're working for a company, a lot of times you're basically saying you're a work for hire. That's why anytime I tell an artist who wants to do freelance work and the company wants you to sign a contract, make sure that you state that you are independent contractor and you are not work for hire. Because work for hire means that they own copyright. You never want to give anybody your copyright. You're always going to say, I'm giving you a grant of rights, not copyright.
Amen. That's for damn sure. That's some good advice. So definitely put them tips down. I hope y'all got your notebooks out. Okay. Cause she's definitely dropping some gems today. Okay. So that was great. We really dug into that. Okay, so next question. If you could thank one person, who would it be?
My mom. My mom.
Yay for moms.
Like point blank, my mom. Like the studio that I'm in, when I left New York, and it wasn't on the best terms. When I left New York, I didn't know what was going to become of me. I even had people telling me, if you leave New York, your dreams are going to die. You'll never be successful unless you stay here. When I got down here, my mom gave me, she already had a bedroom that she let me have, but she also had this spare room that she was going to decorate and turn into something else. And she was like, you know what, since you're here, why don't you just make that your studio?
Right.
You know, and not everybody agreed with that. There was some of my siblings like, that's not fair. My mom was like, my house, my rules, I'm giving her the studio so she can continue her work.
I'm telling you.
Undisturbed. So, yeah, I have to thank my mom.
My mom's like that too, though. She helps me a lot. She's actually like semi my business partner. She's still trying to get like some equity in the company. Like, I ain't got nothing for you, sis. That's what I told her. I was like, I don't got nothing for you, sis. But no, you know, she ships out all my packages, does all the admin stuff that I need to get done, does research on, you need to get this grant and you need to do this and you need to go here and da 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 whatever, right? And then, you know, she's my part-time critiquer. That looks hideous. I hate it. What is that color?
Luckily, my mom has learned not to do that at this point.
I think you need to get her to send my mom a memo because
she has learned not to do that for me, because I will quickly run down my resume and be like, excuse me, do you know who I am?
They be like, we don't care who you are.
No, they don't. Everybody always asks me, Jonquel, how do you stay so humble? I said, I have my own personal haters.
Exactly.
They family members. I walk out the door.
Exactly. Own personal people, like, oh, that's ugly. I don't like that at all. Like, and she'll tell me straight like that. I don't like that at all. Like, I have a painting that everybody loves, and she was like, "Why is that woman's titty out? I hate it. I freaking hate it." And I'm like.
I literally, that is the only time where I fully go into bitch mode, because I will say, excuse me, do you know who I am? And they're like, we don't care.
We don't care. We don't care. We didn't get the memo. Okay, we don't care who you are. Goodbye. Oh my God, that was so funny. Okay, so our next question is, let me see. We talked about merchandising. Okay, so how did you really pivot? You know, your business. How has it been affected by COVID-19? How did you pivot? Did you have to pivot? What were anything that was going on with that?
Well, the biggest thing that came out of that for me was the I talked about it earlier, the Quarantine Bay series. Like, that series panned over a few months because I just kept getting orders from people who wanted to be drawn that way. Right. So that kind of like, and it also like relaunched me on the social media because I had taken a hiatus, and I think I got over 20K new followers from that
Wow.
series alone. Um, so my main thing was my pivoting had more to do personally than it did to do with the business itself. COVID helped me come out of my artist block because I was, like I said, I was an artist block so much, and that slowing down me just doing art helped me survive everything. And I was like, and everybody's like, you can't go outside, and I was like, perfect, I ain't want to go anyway. So I ain't want to go anyway. So that really helped me with everything. It forced me to take on certain aspects of my business that I had been avoiding, like coming up with a whole system as far as how people can contact me and order from me, to how to streamline that process. And just it put me, I just had to take I just had to do inventory on what it is I wanted. I did a lot of self-reflection during that time on what it is that I really wanted, what my art meant to people, what it meant to me. It was just a lot of self-reflecting and just like re-upping myself. So it wasn't a huge shift, but I will tell you one thing, I was on my way to becoming an art teacher
Yeah.
before COVID hit. And when it hit, it actually forced me to become a full-time artist, which is something I had always dreamed of, but I thought it would be further down the line. When
Right.
COVID hit, I was like, no, you're going to have to do this. This is how you're going to survive. So I'm happy to say I'm a full-time artist. I ain't really want to teach y'all's kids. Sorry to say it.
Oh my God.
No.
Exactly. Exactly. Like, I mean, so many things have happened. So many things that have made people pivot. I mean, this is kind of like launch people's businesses.
Mhm.
It's been bad in a lot of ways, but it's put a fire underneath a lot of people in a lot of ways too. You know what I mean? So that's wonderful. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and put them down below. Because we're almost at the end, and then we're gonna answer a lot of questions, and then we're gonna be out of here, you guys.
Mhm.
So if you had some advice for beginners, what would it be? Like anybody, like right from the beginning, what should they be doing to get themselves out there? What should they know about starting their business? Stuff like that.
Well, usually the first thing I try to see is where are they beginning from? Are there somebody who's beginning in art, period? Or there's somebody who's already, established themselves a little bit and want to know what it takes to be in the business of art, because that's two different things.
Right.
Um, if you want to just get started in doing art, period, easy, easy peasy. Just draw. That's your only assignment, is to draw and draw things that you like and draw things from real life. Just draw and have fun. And if you're just now starting art, I do not suggest even worrying about the business side of it right now. Your goal is just to get better, and your goal is to find your joy in it and figure out what type of art that you want to do. So draw everything that you like, and draw a lot of things from real life so you can get used to it. And then and then experiment with different mediums, because maybe you might like black and white pencil graphite. Maybe you may like painting. Maybe you may like digital. Maybe you may like sculpting. You won't know until you try them. So
Yeah.
try everything and just have fun with it. Now, if you're a person who's already in there, you're already decided, well, I'm a painter, I'm a digital artist. Your next thing would be to find what your market is. If you want to do this, to make money at it. And then you have to decide how much money do you want to make at it? Do you want this to just be a side hobby, a niche? Well, then you would just be making your art, photographing it, and you can just put it onto a print on demand place like Society 6 or some place that will produce your artwork for you, automate it. But
Mm-hmm.
if you want to go a little bit hardcore with it and get an Etsy, then you're going to have to start to, nail in what your genre is, what your niche market is. Because if you're going to be putting it on a website and selling it there, who is your audience? Who are you talking to? Who are you doing this for? So I always tell people, make a list of all the things that influence you. rather, put down who your favorite artists are, put down the things that you enjoy. Like for me, Disney came up. Uh, Fashion came up, shoes came up, makeup, all of that comes up underneath mine. Anime, all of that came up on my list of things that I really like. I like pretty, sparkly, shiny things. I'm basically a big house cat. So basically a big house cat. So all of those things are things that I like, and I like drawing those things. That's why they always show up in my artwork. Girls always have lashes, nails, hair, everything. I like those. That's all of the things that influence me. And then the things that are important to you. Are there, or do you care about Black Lives Matter? Do you care about body positivity? Do you care, about children things that involve children, children's art, stuff like that? You're going to make different lists. And what you're going to do is try to, for me, this is what I did, is try to draw lines as to what connects to each other. And then draw a web. And then once you get to the center of everything, be like, okay, this is what I want to do. And then you can research that and find other artists that are doing it, and then you can start to build your audience. That way, when you post online, you'll know what hashtags to use. You can research that demographic. You can look for what's trending in that world. So all of that works if you're trying to launch a business. You can't just go out there willy-nilly and throw everything. You're going to be at it forever. And then you're going to come back all exhausted and wonder, why isn't anything I'm doing sticking? Because you didn't do the full work. You got to do the work. It took a long time for people to know that I do this.
Right.
I literally started doing plus size art back in 2015. Before then, I was doing anime art because that's all I ever did was go to anime conventions. I was doing anime art. Nobody knows about my anime art. Nobody knows if you go back through my Instagram, you can go back through my dark ages, but nobody really knows that because it was too big of a market and I didn't really have a voice. I didn't really know why I was doing it, so I couldn't speak to anybody. Nothing stuck. Right. But once I switched over, and it was completely by accident how I switched over to doing plus size stuff. I just started drawing big girls because I got tired of people making rude comments at me. Rude comments to me, or just dealing with my own bullying that I had to deal with growing up. And so I just started drawing bigger women out for fun. And it connected with people. It connected with people. And then once I realized, I like this. So I started doing research and finding out that in New York, they had all of these different plus size events I could go to. So I was able to go to Full Figure Fashion Week and Golden Confidence Pool Party and actually meet women who were working in fashion, who were beautiful, wearing the finest of designer clothing or clothing that they make look designer, and I was able to bring all of that back into my work. So you have to just figure out what your niche is. If your niche is children's art, then you're probably going to be doing a lot of research. You're going to be going to Barnes and Nobles and getting children's books. You're going to be doing a lot of, you're going to be researching on what popular mediums that children resonate with. Like a lot of artists do children's books. If you look at the books, everything looks like it's done with crayon or color pencils. There's a reason. It's very childlike and endearing, but you have to do your research to know that. So there's different things that
exactly.
There's so many different levels to it.
Let me tell you guys, Pinterest saves lives. Boards. Okay. You make some Pinterest boards and you figure out what you like. And believe me, you can go down a rabbit hole with the most obscure of a thing. Mm-hmm. Okay. If you like, plus size women with only red swimsuits on, you can get that specific. Okay. Yeah. And do a whole board on only plus size women with red swimsuits. Okay.
Yeah, definitely do Pinterest. That's something a lot of places I do a lot of my research. But what I tell people is when you're doing it, throw your whole ass at it. Don't half-ass nothing. Throw the whole ass at it. And it's okay if you go. It is 100% okay to go down a rabbit hole all the way down and then get to the bottom and realize I don't like it here. It's okay.
Right.
It's okay. Explore something until you realize it's not for me, and then turn around and explore something else. Because usually when you go down someplace and you gain those skills, those same skills will follow you where you go, because I thought that I wanted to be a full-time textile designer. I realized I don't really want to do that. But those skills that I learned as a textile designer show up in my everyday artwork because I can design the pattern and outfits that go on my girls. I took that skill with me.
Amen.
The things that I learned when I was doing at anime conventions, that taught me how to manufacture. So when I do the artwork for my girls, I can put them on products because I learned this doing anime art. So everything works together. So don't be
Everything
afraid
has
to just throw
right.
yourself at something and then realize that, oh no, and don't be in there being like wanting to put just your tiptoes in. You gotta go ahead and drown if you need to.
Oh my
You
God.
gotta be willing to drown.
Well, that was a mouthful, you guys. We really gave you some tips. Jonquel gave you some tips, some gems, and this has been absolutely phenomenal, jam packed. We definitely got to talk after this too, because I have so
Mhm.
many questions about certain things. So many questions about certain things that I can't
Mhm.
even think about it. Um, because I know, like, for your art style. Okay, so my last question, really not my last question, but like, it's gonna be like, so what do you think, LLC or sole proprietor? And when people are starting their business, what do you recommend people first go with and why? Or should they do it at all? Because I get this question sometimes and I don't really know how to answer it. Because sometimes I feel like that's like a personal thing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter. You do whatever you want to do for you. I have an LLC for one reason and one reason only is because I wanted to be able to put my stuff on products and sell them coming straight from my website. So if anybody got like a keychain from me and decided to put it in their mouth and choke on it, you know, that is the only reason why I got an LLC because I don't know what type of products I'm going to put my artwork on, and it's just to protect me. But if you're somebody who's only selling prints through Etsy, you can be a sole proprietor. And that's really a discussion between that person and the person who handles their taxes. That's why I was that if you're gonna ask that question, ask it to your person who does your taxes because they're gonna give you the best advice. And if you don't have a person who does your taxes as an artist, get a tax person that knows how to handle that, that knows how to structure your Schedule C and knows how to help you set up your spreadsheet of your expenses and your income. Because that's a question for them. They're gonna advise you whether or not you should remain a sole proprietor or you should be an LLC. My particular
Right.
tax lady said, I need you to be an LLC because you do too much. And I was like, what does that
You be
mean? She
doing
said,
too much and you gonna
you
end
do
up
too much.
something's
Because I
gonna
have
happen.
artwork. I have artwork literally on mugs. And she was like, what are you going to do if somebody cracks the mug?
If
And
somebody
I'm
says that,
like,
that's what I was
you're
thinking
right.
about. That's kind of why I
You're
did an
right.
LLC, because I was like, wait a minute, what? Like, wait a minute, Linda, what happens if something happened, like, or whatever, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like, what if I spend too much money, or what if I do X, Y, and Z, and then they're gonna be like, okay, we need our money, and be like, no, I got an LLC, go get the money over there,
Yeah,
or whatever, you know?
it's just to protect me.
Yeah,
That's but you do not. I was a sole proprietor for years. For years, and it wasn't until I decided I was going to do all these things. Like I wanted to do safety keychains. Like I wanted to do like my artwork and then safety keychains and things like that. Like the little pepper spray and all that. I'm gonna need an LLC for that because if somebody
yeah,
pepper spray the
you
wrong
got
person,
it, you went down the rabbit hole.
I'm gonna need an LLC. I'm gonna need to protect that. So, but a lot of artists that are big time, and I mean big time, are sole proprietors. They do not have LLCs.
Right.
They are, however, trademarked.
Wow.
Regardless of
That,
what
but see,
you
that's a whole nother conversation. Trademark, girl.
no,
Woo.
regardless of what you do, sole proprietor or LLC, you need to trademark your name.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get into our to some messages from our sponsor.
Okay.
Now, you can tune in for our live business Mondays chats every Monday, or at least once a month. We try to do our live business Mondays chat. And just in case you guys are new around here, you have no idea what's going on. This is Creative Girl of Color, and we do art tutorials, podcasts, art vlogs, and art life here on YouTube. And of course, all content is 100% free. But if you would like to donate and all the things, you can head over to Patreon, join us on Patreon, and I have exclusive content, monthly rewards, and coloring pages, and all sorts of activities over there, you guys. As well as you got all the access to all the stuff that I'm doing behind the scenes, even prepping up to our live stream that we did today. Super exciting. Yay. So that was a word from our sponsors. And we're back. So yeah, if you guys would like to donate, definitely donate. I have Jonquel's information down in the description box below. Where you can find her on Instagram and all the things. And if you have a Cash App or something like that, you want to pop into the chat, we can pop that into the chat. So tell us where we can find you at.
You can find me underneath my name, Jonquel Art. Jonquel Art on Instagram. It will also be Jonquel Art when the YouTube launches as well, but also on Twitter, on TikTok. My website is actually jonquel.com, but everything else is Jonquel Art.
Yes, indeed. I'm definitely going to be checking it out. And of course, we're going to always be watching. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and pop them down below before we head out. Because we've been yapping you guys' ears off up in here. Okay. We've been chatting, and me and her, we could yap until the cows come home. Okay. Like, stop playing. Don't forget, you can join our community over on Facebook. And of course, it's drama free. No drama in our community, okay? And yeah, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell for all notifications because it helps my channel out. I want to hit 20,000 subscribers, you guys. I want to be able to help at least 10,000 people heading into the next 6 months. And let me know if you enjoyed today's podcast episode. Make sure you hit Jonquel up on her Facebook. Your Facebook the same thing, right? Facebook,
Yep.
Instagram, all the things. Yes. Make sure you hit her up. Tell her I sent you. Okay. Show her some love. Spam her in the comments, not in the DMs. And all the things. Okay. And yes, thank you so much to the moderators and everybody that came in to watch. I love you guys so much. It was such a beautiful episode. Do you have any ending comments, Jonquel?
No, just thank you so much for having me. I hope that I said something that somebody learned something from.
Oh my God, you said so many good tips, you guys, didn't you? Oh my God.
I'm very happy to be here.
Thank you so much for coming. I really, really appreciate you. And I really, really appreciate you guys for tuning in every single week, no matter what we have going on. But specifically this special episode, I did a special episode just for Jonquel because else, okay? We had to carve out the time and do all the things. And yeah, I'm super excited. I don't know when we're gonna do another one of these episodes. If you want to be featured on my next podcast episode, you can head to the group on Facebook. Other than that, this was just a special episode. We'll be live tomorrow at 12 noon. What are gonna give me? I don't even know what we're gonna be painting. Okay, I don't know. We're gonna be painting like I don't know, a flower or something. Okay. I don't know what we're gonna be painting tomorrow. It's gonna be something going on. Okay. What is your next project? Because you said you're working on your last bit of your gaming, like PC gaming, and that's it. What is your up? Do you have any secret projects in the work that we should be looking out for?
Disney villains.
Yes, we're excited. Okay, you guys, and that's it. That is so it. I love you guys so much, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Bye. Say bye, Jonquel.
Bye.